The very first Air Force One is in Marana. It's been there waiting for the repairs to make it ready to fly again. At KGUN-9 on your sides, Craig Smith is in Marana with more on this historic plane.
I'm at the Marana Airport, and we are looking at a historic Lockheed Constellation. Just how historic this plane, even though on the nose it says Columbine, actually Columbine 2, this plane was the original Air Force One. It was the first presidential plane for President Dwight Eisenhower, and it has been sitting out here at Marana awaiting restoration to the beautiful plane that it once was. It is going to leave before too long. This is a send-off celebration. It's going to head out to Virginia, where its restoration will be completed. At one time, this plane was languishing in the boneyard at Davis-Monthan, and it was going to be taken apart and used for scraps. An historian from the Smithsonian Institute contacted the people who had just bought this plane, along with a couple of others like it, and said, you realize that was one of President Eisenhower's official aircraft. At that point, they started dedicating themselves to restoring that aircraft. Now, it has been sitting in Marana, working slowly towards restoration for several years now, but now it has been sold to a new owner with the means to complete that. Now, let's go to why and how this plane became known as Air Force One. This is in normal Air Force colors for an executive transport of that time, and it usually flew with the Air Force call sign based on the tail number. Let's go back to the tail. You can see it perhaps in the glare, 8610. So it would have been known as it was flying as Air Force 8610. There was a day where it was sharing the same general airspace with a commercial airliner with also the call sign 8610. The Air Force regarded that as too much of a safety issue if the air traffic controllers confused the two planes. So from that point onward, they decided to call the plane that carried the president, whatever aircraft it might be, that plane from then on would be known as Air Force One. Now, later on in the President Kennedy era, the plane acquired the distinctive blue color scheme that you know now. But this is the plane as it was in the early 50s carrying President Eisenhower. At Marana Airport, Craig Smith, KGUN-9 on your side.